that purple, we bout to get high tonight. Feed me that pussy, I got a big appetite. Beat up that kitty like we done just had a fight. He know what he want, but he don't know what you like. He on the lights tonight, I'm enjoying the sights. Look me in my eyes, I'm not deep in the sight. She lights up my life, I only see her at night. But I only see her at night. I think she's sexy. I think she's smart. Only if she ready. In the heart. Baby, listening to Jordan, she rolling weed in my spot. Holding blood while you hold me, I hope we get to the top. Said I hope we get to the top. Roll up that purple, we bout to get out tonight. Feed me that pussy, I got a big appetite. Coming in naked, we bout to make love tonight. Tell me what you want and I'll make sure that it's right. Anywhere that we go, you know we in
Peace. It's the Hoodmystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. We doing this for the Patreon family over there at patreon.com/TheHoodMystic. It's about to be the beginning of the month. So, you know, everybody join in, file in. We doing moon reading. So, and it's only happening at patreon.com/TheHoodMystic. So, you know, for $1 a month, you can really get in. So I just wanted to share that with the family. Jump right into the information, not even playing with y'all, because we did the 2 minutes of music. So if you ain't here by now, then you just won't be here. Shout out to the viewers that's watching this not on the live, but watching this, you know, post live, watching this before they go to bed. Peace to y'all. You know, peace to people in Australia, UK. That's pretty much it. You know, all the English speaking countries around the world, peace. But just dealing with this Jupiter energy, since it's Jupiter day, is Thursday. Peace to everybody on the live, first and foremost. Without you, none of us would be here. So, you know, big yourself up, you know, one time. Going to talk about Jupiter today, going to talk about the moon. The title of this video is called Resonate, and the definition of resonate is to be produced or be filled with a deep and full reverberating sound. So resonate is one of those first keywords that I learned in consciousness that has been my guide through consciousness. It's all about resonating, and resonating isn't just one place or one thing. Resonating is like, you know, moving around and doing different things. And if you find yourself always constantly seeking out the thing that you resonate with, you will never have a problem. See, the problem is that thing that originally resonated with us is not resonating now. So now what do you begin to do with it? The first aspect that I want to talk about is Jupiter square Mercury in Leo, where Mercury is fully indoctrinated with ideas of how to better itself, and now it has a lot of options. The way that you find the option is through resonation. What resonates with you, what truly vibrates your soul and your being right now. Because if you could tap into that, if you could fully be guided by what resonates with you, you won't have any trouble. Jupiter is sextile in Pluto in Capricorn. So I want to be clear about resonating, because you could resonate to something that's not for you. So we have to understand it in full complexity. As Jupiter squares Mercury, you clearly have to do something that resonates with you, but that's not the whole piece of the picture. Jupiter is also trining Neptune and sextiling Pluto, one of the most, you know, two of the most dominant outer planets planets, you know, some spiritual energy basically. So, you know, the spiritual energy that's sextile, that spiritual energy that we can begin to work to is those new relationships based upon spiritual clarity that's found with Jupiter trine Neptune, which we've been talking about for the past 3 months. Weekly, daily, you know, it's something that is, you know, available, and it's through meditation, it's through clarity that one begins to connect to its spiritual hierarchy. And so through that clarity, if one begins to, you know, present himself to the world, then one gets to see new relationships, things open up. But if you can't relate to this, if you like, well, I'm not experiencing new relationships, I'm not very happy, or I'm tired of the people that I'm dealing with, you know what that's an indication of? That's an indication of your relationship with self, wholeheartedly, 100%, without a doubt. And I'm only speaking from experience, because I too hated people. I too did not want to be in the public. I too did not want to deal with people. I wanted to isolate myself and say, fuck people. But as I began to work on my relationship with self in a true and matter-of-fact way, where I begin to actually love myself, it was like magic. I could now tolerate people. I now wanted to deal with people. I wanted to have a lunch conversation with people, my eyes are opened to the possibilities of showing up in my relationships and being not the good guy, but the sincere guy. The one that's focused on the goal, the one that's here on task. And so if I've never had that relationship with self, then I would be like, fuck everybody. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. It ain't because people are fucked up, it's because I was fucked up. So now I'm all for new relationships. I'm all for meeting people. I'm all for lunch dates. I'm all for meeting for coffee to chop it up on a business idea. I'm all for that, because I'm gonna do that regardless. So I'd rather do it with people who want to do that too. And so, very inner shit. It's all about clarity. It's all about realization. It's all about resonating on a true level. But you could be resonating on pain. Don't want to do that. So you got to really work through this. You know, I talk about trauma a lot. I talk about healing a lot. I talk about transforming a lot. Not because I want to be cool, and not because I want to say something, you know, that people are going to, you know, be like, ooh, that's deep. Nah, I'm like, I've literally searched for solutions on how to manage my pain or try to heal the world. And the only thing that I could fully realize is, oh shit, I have to heal. I have to realize some shit. And so this realization is deep as we begin to discuss the moon. The moon is actually forming a T-square. If we want to look at the moon right there, and you see that red line pointing up to Venus, and all of this energy pointing up to, you know, Pluto, forming a T-square. And the T-square is good morning. A T-square is a problem or a major block or negative situation or whatever, you know. Problems and victories and all that shit is synonymous with me. When I see adversity, you know, I get excited, you know, because I know that, you know, something is about to happen once I cross this threshold. See, a lot of people look at thresholds as borders or limits, like that border is there, so that means don't cross it. I'm like the opposite. I'm about to jump over that shit. I'm about to bust through it. I'm about to dig under it, or I'm about to go around it, because I don't even... Why are you here? Why is this border here? And so, you know, that's just me personally. And so let's just go through this T-square real quick and fully understand Moon in Aries oppose Venus and Libra, and both of these planets square Pluto in Capricorn. The T-square is very simple, and I'm not going to complicate it, because the moon throughout the day will move into a conjunction with Uranus. And it's going to pick up the vibration of speaking your truth. Uranus and Taurus. So speaking your truth, we heard that, but it's a T-square. It's different planets connected to it, so you have to add it to different flavors. So if you have an aspect in astrology, then it's one flavor and another flavor, and are you going to plus these flavors, minus these flavors, subtract these flavors, or divide these flavors? And then what is the sum total of the flavor? Like if I have an ice cream cone, ice cream, I put it together, I'm happy because I really like ice cream. And I could have you, and that's a conjunction. But if I have an ice cream cone and some ice cream and it's a square, that means you go into the kitchen and it's just ice cream cones there. You go into the freezer and there is no ice cream there. So that is a square. That is something that cannot be reconciled. So what the fuck are you going to do about it? You either going to go to the store or be sad. So whenever we're faced with problems, whenever we're faced with obstacles, there are always options. Do we have the energy to do something about it? Or do we just want to feel bad that there is no ice cream in the damn freezer? When 9 times out of 10, you could just walk your ass to the store and get some ice cream. Problem solved. Hope that made sense. I hope that resonated with you. And so back to this T-square. I don't even know where that came from, but back to this T-square. The moon opposed Venus is really about speaking your truth through forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that we don't do for other people. We do forgiveness for ourselves so we can get to our truth. If you mad at somebody, if you feel some type of way about somebody, then that's not your truth. That's your lie that you're speaking. You fucked me over. You did me wrong. Yeah. All of these mantras, all of these affirmations that you're making that you now have to reweave and get back to the source, because you are God, you are infinite, you are love, you are wealthy, you are all of these different positive adjectives that you don't use in your daily affirmations. And then you wonder, why is things not working out? Why am I not figuring this shit out? It's very important in the things that you say. But if you haven't cleared, then the things that you say are from, I say, you know, that swamp over there is the sustenance of water. And you go straight to the swamp and start to drinking. And I'm like, wait a second. It's a process to get to you drinking it. That makes more sense. So I really want you to understand, when you speak your truth, it has to come from a place of clarity, or else it's not your truth. It's swamp water. And there's nothing wrong. It's just over time things have collected up in your being, and now you have to begin to clear. Venus is going into shadow zone very soon. And so there are going to be things from your past that are going to come up. And if you have not forgiven that situation, if you have not made peace with that situation, you will be missing out on an incredible opportunity to transform, to heal, to move forward, because you so hard up and pent up over some negative shit that done happened. This is true transformation. If we truly are gods, if we truly are lovers, then why the fuck are we mad at each other on the daily? So fully understanding that our words don't mean shit if there ain't no action behind it. If we have goals, our goals don't mean shit if there's no action plans behind it. Every day we can look towards and work towards our goals. Are our goals important to us? That's the problem. If your goals are not important to you and you're not working towards your goals on the daily, then that's the problem. So action, words, full alignment, making sure that we are able to really transform and really get to the spiritual alignment. And it ain't, you can't get there by being mad that your baby daddy done did you wrong. You can't get there because your baby mama, you know, take $20 a week out of your paycheck for child support and you salty. You could have spent that $20 on gas, or you know how people just start to get into some negative shit about what somebody done did to them. we trying to really transform though, so we got to really come to peace with that. We got to really talk about this shit and really get past it, because the energy is so much present in our reality, but it's not gonna get there. It's not gonna even, we're not even gonna be able to receive it because we too concerned with shit that don't even really matter. And so that's very simple, but it seems to be very difficult in the human day, everyday agenda. And so basically yesterday, the tarot kind of keeps, it's a theme moving with this tarot, and it's really trying to tell a story, but we have to be able to narrate it or decode or understand the story that's being told. And so I don't know why ideologies and things of that nature keep popping up in my mind, or even as something to kind of break away from. Like, I'm very strong about that, like even to the point where it's like I don't even like to be identified as anything besides what's the task. Because if you mention it in any type of way, you know, like a black such and such, it's like a flavor on it. Like, I just want to be a such and such, you know. I don't want you to look at me in any type of way based upon, like, we all have a professional relationship or some type of relationship where we're trying to go somewhere or do some things together. Like, I'm not just your friend or just your buddy. What if your forgiveness is true but doesn't look or feel like it because you can't have the relationship or communication? The forgiveness and the communication just has to be relative to your forgiveness. Is your forgiveness. It has literally nothing to do with the communication or relationship or another person. If you have negative feelings towards a person, you have to forgive yourself for those feelings so you can move forward, because you cannot move forward by feeling like John done did me wrong, and I'll never get over John doing that and ruining my life. And you're not really fully dealing with your spiritual power, which your spiritual power has the power to heal and deal with all types of shit that you can heal yourself from, move forward from, if you simply learn to forgive. Like, you could be broke as shit right now. It's been times where I was broke as hell, like no money, began to forgive myself for making bad decisions with my money, and then things begin to change for me. Like, you can always forgive yourself, and that forgiveness is very powerful, it's very deep, because it's for give, and it's like you're giving your something in the future, in this moment, and the more that you can forgive yourself, the more that you give yourself is very important. It's not about the other person. If you're trying to forget the other person and hope that that other person feel a different type of way, then your whole forgiveness is fucked up. Because it ain't no telling what that person gonna feel when you say, you know, I forgive you for doing that. And that person can just turn on you like, well, I meant to do that shit and I'll do it again, so you better get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? So you better just, like, dealing with other people and their toxicity is very dangerous, because everybody got their own swamp. So where I'm at right now is that I'm just trying to have my clear cup of water. And if you're in my vibration and you are doing any type of distortion or alteration to my purity, then you must leave. You know what I'm saying? Because this is very important to me, my dreams and how I move forward, and you know, the fact that I am out in the world, that I have to protect myself, and I cannot let other people get into my vibration and disrupt it in that way. Because it's all that I have, you know. At a certain point, you know, my clarity and my connection to self is all that I have, to listen to myself and to go off of what myself is telling me, and nothing else is all I have. And so if I have to take in all of this different information and it's disrupting my aura and emotional field, then I'm going to be off center and I'm not going to be happy. I like being responsible. I like being counted on. I like the fact that, you know, my children have a father that they can count on. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And so anything that moves me out of that space I can't fuck with it at all. And that's the ten and that's actually the 10 of swords. It's like, you know, if people want to fight, if people have an ideology that, you know, they want to fight and they want to get it on, then let them do that. My shit is healing. My shit is peace. Don't come here and expect me to be talking about no other nigga about what they doing on their channel, what they doing in their life. This is all about spiritual attainment. That's what this channel is about. The different and multiple, the variety of ways that you could attain spirituality. I'm a hood mystic, you know. Period. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like, and that's what I say about these ideologies. Now, if I'm talking, if something happens, then, you know, as groupthink happens, then we all have to start talking about Donald Trump now. And it's like, fuck that. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump, because that shit don't have nothing to do with my reality at all. When I'm like, when people start, like, people, it just seems as though dumb people like to talk about it. Honestly, like when I'm at work or at school, Trump never comes up. When it's about me living my life and, you know, relating to my children or relating to my wife, Trump, it has nothing to do with that. So who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that, like, we can begin to do as human beings. We can begin to govern ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We can begin to come together and live our own life and create our own country. But motherfuckers ain't ready to do that. They rather sit and talk about Donald Trump and what he's doing, where I'm trying to create an empire, so I don't necessarily have to either be in this country. Like, you know, fuck all of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. If they want to fight, let them fight. That shit is not a reflection of me. You understand when, like, I was reading a Thoth Tarot deck, and it was explaining the 10 of Swords, not the Thoth of Tarot deck, but the actual Book of Thoth, that the card that's related to this deck. And as it was explaining the 10 of Wands, it was all about government in the world, and it was saying how this is actually a good card, because what happens is the people above us, they fight and they clash and they kill themselves, and the only thing that's left is the common man that can now build his empire on top of their fucking idiocracy, which I'm like, I'm all for it. Then let them fight. Let them, Democrats, Republicans, why don't y'all all get motherfucking guns and find a place and just shoot it out till y'all figure it out? You understand what I'm saying? And hopefully the only thing left is us, and now we have a world that we can make the best of, you know, because I love this country as a land, as a earth. I have traditions and connections to it, but, you know, this corporation called United States is infringing on my territory at a certain point. So it's very important that we understand that our truth, our happiness, our evolution is not in figuring out who's going to win the war, because, you know, let them fight, you know, and still focus on what resonates with you. And that's really the top tier. But the bottom tier is the Knight of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. And so this is more speaking about resonation, and this is very simple. This is through objection you begin to learn. And when you begin to learn, you find solutions. And when you find those solutions, you really figure out who you really are. And when you figure out who you really are, you begin to live a life of passion. And following your passion is the only life one should live. You shouldn't live a life of obligation. You should absolutely love everything that you're doing, everything that you're building, everything about you, everything about your family, everything about your home, everything about your life. You should love it. You should have full passion behind it. You should know your purpose. You should know everything that you're doing from moment to moment. You should have it. And if you don't have it, that's a relationship that you need to begin to cultivate with yourself, because they're not the problem. I'm not the problem. She's not the problem. He's not the problem. Your boss not the problem. Your mama. Nobody is the problem. The only problem is our relationship and really us living forward and moving forward with passion. You know, when we find our passion, we find our truth, we find our purpose, and we live in that. And it's not about isolating yourself either. Hope that resonated. I'm the Hood Mystic, representing Hoodmystic.com. Hit me up at yeah, somebody need to buy me that camera too, or we need to go half on it or something. We need to come up with the full conscious news network at a certain point, because I can do the astrology, tarot, somebody else could do the I Ching and the pendulum, or you understand what I'm saying? Or we just need to come up with a network and do bigger shit. We need to take this consciousness seriously, because we can really grow it and really change the world through technology. And so that's what I'm actually doing right now on the daily, is learning technology, absorbing myself in technology, because you know, by the end of this year, I'm gonna be fully emerged. But what if I'm a hermit? Hermit, I mean, is like being a hermit is only one card in the deck. It's not the whole deck. You were, you know, the hermit, but you could also be the lovers. You could also, you know, be, you know, the six of this and have a family, the four of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, all different types of stuff, man. So I just want to thank y'all for joining me. Peace to the family. Just tried to be clear with this. So I really worked hard on this message. I took notes on it, condense my notes so I could be very clear and know exactly what I want to say. And I just want to continue to be better with these messages, continue to be clear with these messages, and hopefully, you know, the people that are here resonate with this message. And then if you don't resonate with this message, there is absolutely no reason why you should be here or listening to these messages. So peace to the family. Hoodmystic@gmail.com, that's the email. PayPal.me/TheHoodMystic, Hoodmystic 38. Peace.